Hi there. Welcome to Special Education Tuesdays with Vicky. Today we'll be looking at functional communication training. The two words that are key here are functional and communication. If you're familiar with this terminology, you would know that it is commonly used in applied behavior analysis. And when you talk about applied behavior analysis, you know that is a form of therapy that is focused on increasing desired behavior and decreasing undesired behavior, especially in children with autism. However, today I will be taking functional communication training from a different perspective. The aim is to ensure that you understand absolutely what functional communication training means. So I'd like to define the word functional and then I will define communication. So functional, something is said to be functional if it serves a purpose. And communication is the exchange of information through speaking, writing, or other nonverbal cues. So what then is functional communication training? It is the process of teaching individuals how to exchange information in a useful manner. The key features of functional communication include that parties involved must understand each other. Information exchanged must be relevant at the time of exchange. And then there is feedback. That is to say, if you communicate, if you share information with someone and you're expecting a feedback, and the feedback doesn't come, or it comes in an unexpected manner that communicates to you that this person didn't understand what you communicated initially, then that means communication has not taken place. So there must be feedback. So before you teach functional communication to an individual, I'd like you to understand the following. 1. The eyes can see an item, but if the brain does not process what was seen, even a book can become a toy. And that's the reason why you have cases of children mishandling items that are supposed to be used in a certain way. It all boils down to understanding, interpretation of what the item is meant for. Enrich the learner's environment with items that you want them to identify. Especially for children, let them play with it. Play is a child's language of learning. This would lead to curiosity about the item being played with. There are 4 stages of learning according to David Kolb. A. Concrete learning. B. Reflective observation. C. Abstract conceptualization. D. Active experimentation. Effective learning is achieved when a learner progresses through each stage. Although learners may enter into the cycle of learning at any stage. The third point to note before you teach functional communication to an individual is that when the child is allowed to play in an enriched environment, they try to name items based on how they use it. This is an entry point to teaching names of items. In applied behavior analysis, we call it tact or tacting. The fourth point to note here is that you should allow children dismantle and reassemble play items that can be subjected to such procedures. It improves memory, cognition, fine motor skills, and language development. Before your child gets to this stage, they must have interfaced with the item many times. This may happen differently for a child with hyperactivity disorder. At the heart of all I've talked about above is play. It's important to let children play. Remember that the child with special needs most times presents differently in the areas of cognitive processing. Many of them struggle to learn at school because it's like forcing an 18-month-old child to write. In summary, while functional communication training therapy is mostly used for children with autism to reduce challenging behaviors resulting from communication problems, it is generally useful for all children. Functional communication therapies focus on teaching children to mind, tact, etc. However, the essence of this session is aimed at highlighting the precursors for teaching functional communication training, and that is play. Let children play. Before you begin to tell a child, this is a ball, this is a banana toy, this is a Lego block, the child should have experimented with these things and draw their own meaning, create their own concepts around such items. For example, you could see a child picking up a remote and pretending it's a telephone. That is because they have seen adults, mommy, daddy, use something similar to make calls. And so that is what they think the TV remote control should be used for. And then the moment the child begins to have a lot of interest around it, you teach the child what that item is actually used for by doing it. Until the child begins to wonder, I thought it was a phone. Why is it changing the TV station? And you let the child know that it is a control to control what you watch on TV. And that's the best way the child gets to know that this is a TV remote control. This is one perfect illustration when we talk about functional communication training. What the child intends to communicate must make sense to the child. Otherwise, it will seem like you just gave the child a full page of item to just memorize, and then they randomly start picking words for you, and you're like, no, this is what you're supposed to say. This is what you're supposed to say. How will the child say the correct thing when they don't even know what it means? So, when you're teaching a child to communicate, make it functional. Do it, model it. Let the child play. Play, play, play. Play is everything. It helps in speech language development. It helps in emotional development. It helps in physical development. In fact, one of the parents that we work with said that her child learned to crawl through engaging with play items. Of course, the child made an attempt to reach a play item, and the child eventually crawled. And this is a child who began walking at age 4. So, you may never understand what parents of children with special needs go through if you don't interface with them a lot. You may never value the knowledge that is brought to you on how to effectively work with them if you don't make contact with them. As teachers, embrace every learner. Every child is an individual that you should learn a thing or two from. So I urge you all to take the trainings that you learn and you get from this group, effectively implement them in your classrooms, in your homes, and spread the word. Till I come your way next Tuesday, have an amazing week. Bye-bye.